Porco Dio! Forza! Italia! Forza!
Italia! Italia! Italia!
All right. Go Kazakhstan! Go Kazakh!
Going for the quarterfinals.
Italia!
Italia.
Italia! Woo!
Please welcome Team Kazakhstan. Tervetuloa Kazakstanin joukkue. And please welcome Team Italy. Tervetuloa Italian joukkue. The cable results for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Tähän ottelun tuomarit on nimennyt kansainvälinen jääkiekkoliitto. The referees, päätuomarit Seth Kucha and Peter Stano. Live versions, siviltätuomarit Anttu Sormunen and...
So the situation is simple. Win and you stay in, lose and you get relegated. Maybe for a long time. Kazakhstan was relegated 5 times before recurring to the top division of the World Championship. The referees are Jake Rakuki and Peter Stano, linesman Hannu Sormanen, and Joseph Spur. So the Kazakhs won promotion in 2019. There was no 2020 tournament. There was no relegation last year. They had a good year last year. Won 4 games, narrowly missed the quarterfinals. But now they come in on a 6-game or 5-game losing streak. I think that's 6, sorry. Playing their 7th game tonight. And Gregory Ireland in Italy survived in 2019. Italy won its last game against Austria in overtime to get through. Last year there was no relegation. They would have been relegated last year. Since that win over Austria, they've lost 13 in a row.
They're due for a good one, and they're going to need a good one.
Kazakhstan, as you mentioned, is the better team. But who will have the better goaltender today? Andrei Shutov, a 24-year-old, has allowed 4 or more goals in every start. Was pulled in his initial start against Denmark, which they lost 9-1. Andreas Bernard has been quite good for Italy. Allowed 3 goals on 34 shots in their loss to the Slovaks on Saturday. Italy has a point, an overtime loss against France on Wednesday. They led that game until the final minute and a half. France scored the equalizer and then the winner in overtime. The 3 points that Italy would have gained from a regulation win would have helped today. It would have meant that Kazakhstan would have had to win this game in regulation to be the team to advance. That's the situation on the other side is Great Britain. He's in action later tonight against Austria. And the wraparound try. A quick chance there for Starchenko.
Well, would that have been something Starchenko had? Bernard leading the wrong way.
Opening seconds. Now drop back here, Starchenko, the Kazakh captain, who has played in 10 lower division tournaments for Kazakhstan. The last thing he wants to do at age 36 is go back to a Division 1A again. And Sana back with it. It's been a good run for the Italians to stay in the top division. They're the host country for the 2026 Winter Olympics. Having their players play at the top level is important for their program. Mantenuto spins that back at the point. Pitcher Nero with a shot. Goes off the stick of Frigo, up and out of play.
The thing you have to like about this game with either team is that it's clean. Whoever wins stays. However you win, there's no goal differential, there's no watching the scoreboard. It's just win this game in any way and you're set. Starchenko gets a great chance and maybe away with a little trip as well, but there was room as Bernard's left foot.
Oh, there's a
left the post.
Quick shot by Frigo off the face-off and a pad save made by Shutov. We mentioned that Kazakhstan won 4 games last year. Their goaltender Nikita Boyarkin was terrific at a .929 save percentage, won all 4 games. He was injured late in the year, unavailable to Kazakhstan. A little surprising that Andrei Shutov, the #1 goaltender for Kazakhstan, played yesterday in the game against Germany.
Shutov has played all but 34 minutes of this tournament. So they've rode him the entire time.
Now Petronero's shot that deflects wide, picked up by Darren Dietz, who's returned to the Kazakh lineup. Suffered an injury late in the KHL playoffs. And he has added some stability and a booming point shot to their blue line. And a chance there for Rakhmanov. Took down Pietronero in the corner. Now Rakhmanov steals again. Shoots! The save made by Bernard. 2 good chances for Kazakhstan in the opening minutes here of the first period. Antonuto wins that race to the puck against Curtis Volk. He and Darren Dietz, childhood friends from Medicine Hat, Alberta. And Metalnikov picks it back up for Mihalis, the son of the Kazakh coach. Here comes Volk working in. Walks it and shoots. He whistled that wide. Rakhmanov back on it. Drops it back. Penyakov put it wide. And here's Volk. Volk banks that back and played back around. Shevchenko plays that back for Benayer. That long shot taken from the point. Deflects away as Bekateev got that away. Now picked up again by Penyakov. Penyakov centers it. And Shevchenko missed on that from the point. That shot by Bekateev went wide. Kazakh applying the pressure here in the first period. In Tampere at this hour, it's the United States against the Czech Republic in the battle for third place in that group. And that shot whistled wide. Not a good chance this time for Azetov. Traversa brings it back out for Italy. Laid back around. And knocked down was Mantinger for Italy. Pietronero has to retreat as it's brought up by Petuha. Trivelato lost the puck to Gurkov. Gurkov shoots from a sharp angle. And Bernard makes the glove save. This has been mostly Kazakhstan here in the opening moments.
Well, a start for Kazakhstan, and this is what they're good at, is they get in on the forecheck, they turn pucks over, active sticks with big bodies, and then they try to create a little finish. They've had a shot. There's one, rings off the crossbar. A little bit of a looper.
Let's go!
But this is the forecheck that turns pucks over, and quick strike offense on the transition. Italy will have to clean up their exits, or else they'll be playing their end the whole game.
Mihail Rakhmanov does not play a lot for Kazakhstan. They really run their top 2 lines a lot, but he's up now on their second line.
Well, Savitsky is out.
Yeah, took a puck in the face in that game against Germany. That was close.
Like all their games, except for the first one, they've been close.
A 5-4 win for Germany. And now icing called against the Italians, who've lost some close ones themselves, beaten 2-1 by Denmark. And then that overtime loss to France. And their game against Slovakia was fairly close as well. Lost that one 3-1.
Yeah, they've had some moments. They rely on kind of Matan, Hannon, Frank to do most of the scoring. Goals have been hard to come by for Italy, as they traditionally are.
Face off, one back to Metalnikov, across to Shalapov, works in, trying to find a stick in front. Sarchenko couldn't reach that. Metalnikov jumps up. Metalnikov slides that back to Shalapov for Metalnikov. He's one of 11 players who was part of that Kazakh team that won promotion from Division 1A in 2019. There was no 2020 World Championship, so Kazakhstan got back to the top division last year and made some noise with regulation wins over Germany and Italy, and then shootout wins over Latvia and Finland.
The difference being they had a goaltender last year that was very good.
Nikita Boyarka, we mentioned, was tremendous.
And Shutov this year hasn't had that kind of tournament.
Right. Mihalis bumped off the puck by Jos. And now McNally chips it back out. Back down to the Italian zone. Miglioranzi goes back as Mihalis closed on him quickly. And Jos has it back. Rakhmanov bumped off the puck by Frigo. And McNally has it back. McNally drops it back. And a quick shot by Miglioranzi. And there's the first good chance for the Italians on Shutov.
Maybe a different kind of game for Shutov, where he doesn't have the volume that he's had in games past, but he's gonna have to be sharp, because when there's a breakdown, it could probably be a big one. And glove save to pad his confidence a little bit from well out. Not tipped at all. It's a goal save you need to make. I like that yellow lacing in the glove.
Team colors.
I know, but it feels like it's like replacement lacing. Yes, that's right.
Spornberger plays it down. The mirror test is far more important in hockey than people realize.
Well, look good, feel good, play good, get paid good. Something like that?
Not grammatically good, but okay.
No, listen.
Shevchenko spins it back. In comes Diego Costner. Winding his way in, Costner holds and throws that towards the goal. It got through. Shutov kicked that away. Better chance at front side of the goal, and Daniel Frank just missed. And Shestakov back with it for Kazakhstan. Lead pass for Setov, working in. His line mates are changing. And now it's picked up by Mantinger. Comes leaping in, and Gurkov plays it back around for Metalnikov. Petuhov. Move that back ahead. Trivelato off the glass. And Mantinger pokes that back ahead. And Trivelato had to retreat as the Kazakhs regroup in their own zone. Dietz, long pass ahead for Petuhov. Petuhov in on DePerna, who's been a physical presence throughout this tournament for the Italians. Miglioranzi back around for Alex Patan, the native of Delta, BC. Former captain at Michigan Tech University. He and Dante Hanun are childhood buddies from Delta, cousins, who are playing for this Italian team and have the Olympics in their sights for 2026. Simone Costner tries to drop that back. Italy scored the first goal against Canada. So did Kazakhstan, for that matter. As a Colson gets on it. Miglioranzi has it go off the skate. And back goes Pietroniro.
Indeed, Liria, when big a Colson gets going on the forecheck, he is a heavy forechecking player.
A bit of an unguided missile sometimes.
Yeah, he gets himself into some spots.
Glira up ahead for Frigo. Frigo works in, shoots from a sharp angle. Shutov makes the stop. And he'll hang on to that. 12:32 to go here in the first period. No score. Back here at the ice hall in Helsinki. No score between Kazakhstan and Italy later on today. Canada takes on Denmark. 3 games here tomorrow, as the preliminary round wraps up both here and in Tampere. Quarterfinals on Thursday here in Tampere. Then the tournament moves north of here for 2 hours for the semifinals, the gold medal game and the bronze medal game. Loose puck knocked back for Glira. And Jos lifted that wide of the goal. Frank centers in a quick chance for Frigo. That deflected wide. And Gregorio Jos sends it back in. Volk looking for it. Blacker moves in. And Jos takes him out. Now another steal. And Panyukov put that wide. Frigo has it taken away. Shalapov plays that back. Shestakov for Metalnikov. Shevchenko Works it back to Metalnikov, has a look. And Metalnikov, a wrist shot that was blocked by Frigo. He needs off. And Metalnikov swings back for the loose puck.
It's a good idea to try to walk to the middle if you're Metalnikov, but you already had a forward posted up there. You kind of walked yourself into tighter coverage. End up getting the shot blocked.
A long shoot on the shoots off. He'll glove that. Daniel Frank, the Italian captain, had a great look a moment ago.
Both teams are vulnerable in and around that. Oh, boy. Puck just a little too far in front of him to get his forehand on it. Healed it. There was room there. Oh. And like, we cannot overstate what a big game this is.
Right.
I mean, you know, they're not going to win. They're not being, but it changes their lives and their programs and the sport in their country if they're able to win this game.
Katuha works in, rolls that back towards the goal, but steered away by Bernard, who has been tremendous for Italy in goal. .926 save percentage coming in. He's been bombarded with shots. And now Katuha moves ahead, but as he does, we've got the puck hit the curved glass at the side of the Kazakhstan. But
Kazakhstan has a point here. Just work on the physics for me.
Okay.
If the puck hit the rounded part of the glass,
yes,
how would it have bounced out square in the middle of the ice?
Okay.
It hit the red stanchion. That's what made it pop out so far away from the boards. If it hits the rounded part, it goes in the bench or at least along the wall. Because it's rounded.
Here it is.
Watch.
Yeah.
I know. It's physics. There is no way it could hit that rounded part and bounce that in the back of the...
Now the face-off in the Kazakh zone. Perna plays it back in for Patan. Trevolato. Back for Senna, a shot. That's kicked away, and now Coles it. Up for Starchenko. Comes lumbering in. Drops that back, and a penalty coming out of Italy. Backhand shot taken by Sagadeo is knocked away. And as Simone Koster touches up, the first power play of the game will go to Kazakhstan, hooking called against Italy.
Part of the plan offensively for Kazakhstan.
23, 2 minutes for hooking.
As Simone Koster heads to the boxes,
right,
you know, playing the offensive zone, make Italy work at their own end, and there you see Koster get up under the hands of Starchenko as he's flexing out the wrist that was interfered with. But when you draw these power plays, now you got to take advantage of them.
Kazakhstan is 3 for 17 on the power play. They scored 5 power play goals in the 11-3 win over Italy last year. Starchenko works it in, shoots, that deflected wide. Starchenko had 5 points in that game, 2 goals and 3 assists. And sent down the ice by Montenuto.
Darren Dietz is a real threat for the blue line.
Right.
Added different elements since he's returned to the lineup. It's made them more dangerous on the power play.
Starchenko drops it back to Mihalis, feeds it back across. Shevchenko with a chance, and he rolled that wide, and the puck comes back out. Here's Mihalis with it. Panyukov lines it across the line, rolls that wide as well. Shestakov plays it back around. Orehov back at the blue line. He's been an offensive threat throughout this tournament. Centers it. And Shestakov tipped out on goal. Now sent down the ice by Patan.
Orehov has had a very nice tournament. Leads their team in scoring. 5 points.
Late change by the Italians. Orehov works in. Head back across. And that's fanned on by Shestakov. He had Bernard leaning. And couldn't find the net.
Really well done. The quick up. And look at the double seam. Through once, through twice, and that's the shot you want. Bernard's gonna have to try to make a glove save, and that's all. And unfortunately, it was fanned on, allowing Bernard just to make an easier save than otherwise. Active stick. See him flip that stick over, going with a poke check. Bernard is pretty aggressive down and around the crease with his goal stick.
Dietz feeds it back down to Volk, walks it and shoots, 2 chances, scores! Curtis Volk, power play goal, and Kazakhstan has the lead.
It's like they used to do it back in Medicine Hat. Dietz to Volk to the back of the net.
And Medicine Hat heard from, and a fan of the Montreal Canadiens as well.
There he goes. The bypass player off a 1 draw, so Dietz doesn't waste any time going to the half wall. He goes all the way to the goal line. And DePerna playing up a little bit, wasn't anticipating that play, and Volk makes no hesitation. Once against the pads, able to get away from the goaltender enough to lift it up and over the top of the net. And
that was his dad we saw a moment ago celebrating. His uncle, by the way, is Kelly Rudy.
All right. Hockey playing family.
4 years in Medicine Hat in the Western Hockey League. For Curtis Volk, 4 years in the American League. He played 1 NHL game for the Florida Panthers in 2017. So a big power play goal for Kazakhstan. Open to scoring. Here's Blacker. Back across. Kanyukov centers it. That's knocked away. And Mantenuto up for Frigo. Drops that back, and Pietranero sends it in.
So if you're in the highlights on the bench right now for Kazakhstan, you are imploring the guys to bear down the next 5 minutes. They've had a couple leads, but they've been giving them up as soon as they've gotten them. So 2 to 3 minutes after scoring, Kazakhstan has been giving up a goal. So smart plays, get the puck in deep, and let's get comfortable with the lead for a few minutes.
Kirkov bumps Diego Costner, who slips that back down to the Kazakh zone as Metalnikov goes back for it. Kirkov brings it back, Ed, and fires that down. Jose steps into Patuha. And Gregorio Jus plays for Asiago in the Alps Hockey League. I don't know how good they are, but it sounds really good.
Great
Asiago,
pre- and post-game meals.
Asiago, the Alps, all of it sounds good to me. Kolza up after Sagadeyev, drops it back for Sarchenko, rather. That's knocked away. And Simone Costner works back in for Italy. Takes a high hit. That's a penalty.
Top, yeah.
That's going to be a penalty to Bekateyev for the hands up in the face. And so Kazakhstan scores a power play goal. Italy to the man advantage when we come back.
She came 30 years ago just to cheer on Kazakhstan today. How are you doing? Have a night. I'll definitely be home. I will nice to win today. Yes, we definitely hope so. You have watched almost every game, is that right? Yes, that's right. You've been enjoying the games? Yes, very much. Fantastic. Let's see if the referee wants to say something in turn. Not yet. What would you say to the players today to make sure we get the win? Guys, we
Major penalty under review.
That's right. It's simple as that. If you're a fan of Kazakhstan, please raise your flag.
So here's the penalty.
That's okay. So the penalty was called. They've called a major.
They called a major, which they can now review, and if they choose, reduce it to a 2-minute minor. And
Which they will.
What we've seen here and in the NHL to a degree is now that the officials can review a major penalty and reduce it if necessary. When in doubt, they're calling a major.
Right. It gives them the option. Take another look at it and call it either way.
Because you can't review a minor and upgrade it to a major.
Right. So you call the major, and then if you see something that warrants that call, stay with it. If not, bring it back down. That one's going to be a 2 because it looked with the head snap that he elbowed in the head. but he actually got him mostly in the shoulder with the forearm, and the left hand a little bit around the head, but not enough to make it a major. This should be just a 2.
It's 2 minutes for interference.
And the whole key is the referees not caring about what they call initially, feeling they need to validate the major. Being comfortable in taking it down to a 2.
Yes.
Because then it's okay to call the major and get a second look, as long as you don't mind going against your original call. They didn't, they got the right one.
So Italy on the power play now, 4 for 19 in the tournament. Trivelato back to Patan. Patan has one of the 4 goals. That point shot knocked away by Shutov. Here's Patan back with it. Alex Patan, his centering pass bounced away. Volk races to it. And poke back to center right. Costner plays it back in front to Mantenuto. Trivelato back for Mantenuto. Trivelato. Now the centering pass for Patan knocked away. Patan plays it back around. Simone Costner works it back for Mantenuto. Trivelato ahead for Patan. Back for Trivelato. Winds and shoots and pinballs a couple of times. It goes wide. Inside a minute to go in the Italian power play. Got to think with these two teams that in addition to goaltending, scoring on the power play, being good on special teams is going to matter a lot here today. They
5
don't
on
score
5 goals will be hard to come by.
Right, they don't score a lot easily, so. Pietranero works back in. Pietranero drops it back to McNally. That skipped away from him, but Miglioranzi holds the line, banks that back down. Diego Costner. Pietranero. Miglioranzi shoots, scores! Tipped in front. And the Italians have answered with a power play goal of their own. Looked like Brandon McNally got the last touch on it. So the penalty for Bekatev is costly. And Italy has tied it up.
You called it. The importance of special teams. The importance of scoring on your power play opportunities. And nothing fancy about this big Brandon McNally, who plays a physical game. He's left all alone in front. The celebration tells you he got that one. He is feeling it. A wrister all the way through. If you're going to leave the guy in front, you got to block this. And Orehov just can't.
How about that?
Yeah. Orehov just can't get a piece of it. And McNally swipes and tips it up and over Shutov's glove to tie the game.
So the Kazakh goal is scored by a guy from Medicine Hat, Alberta, and the Italian goal is scored by a guy from Saugus, Massachusetts, who plays for Cardiff in the Elite Ice Hockey League in Great Britain. 4 years at Dartmouth, 4 years in the AHL, now playing for Italy.
He's a physical player. He hits everything that moves out there, but tucked in front.
1-1
punch shot.
1-1 your score. Mihalis drops that back for Shalapov. Shalapov shoots, and that's gloved by Bernard. And he'll hang on to that. You're watching the 2022 World Hockey Championship from Helsinki.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the referee dancer. We have a beautiful dancer right here. What's her name? Fantastic. Let's get the show going. Come on.
Referee dance moves and pass. Check into the head. Delay penalty. Match penalty. Go. Faster.
Yes, you're doing great.
Back in Helsinki in a game that will see the winner go to next year's World Championship of the top division, and the loser get relegated to Division 1A. Same situation, sort of, tonight in Tampere. Great Britain has to win in regulation against Austria. Any other result, and the Austrians survive, and Great Britain will be relegated. Here's Blacker back with it. Jesse Blacker, Toronto native, spins and shoots. He rattled that high. And Rachmanov picks it back up. Drops it back to Orehov, who has a look. That wrist shot goes wide. He was trying to find a stick in front. Mihalis back with it now. Mihalis spins back. Orehov walks in and shoots, scores! Valery Orehov's got his 3rd goal in this World Championship, and it's 2-1 Kazakhstan.
He's been the guy. He's been the guy for the blue line that's generated so much for Kazakhstan. Orehov steps in and absolutely blisters one top corner. Alex Patan gets a little tangled up here on the high roll. He tries to help out with a hit. He misses it. And now he's sunk. He's on the boards. There is no recovery. Everyone else flowing to the wrong side of the ice. And Orehov says, I'll take the open ice. Steps in almost the hash marks. It goes, whoop. That is a brilliant finish.
So we come to this tournament every year, and we see players get looked at by NHL teams. Orehov's 22. He hasn't scored a lot in the KHL. He plays for Paris Nur-Sultan, which is the Kazakh KHL team, but he's got 3 goals here.
6 points in the tournament.
Pretty good offensive player.
Good feet. You want to take a look at that age. He's willing to come to North America and see how he goes initially, because he's got those physical tools.
We're not saying he's Artemi Panarin.
No. But he's a project that you would be willing to invest in to see what that translates, because he's got the size, the youth, and the skating ability and puck skills that makes you curious to see how it could translate.
So the Kazakhs back in front. Pietroniro's pass went off the boards and up and out of play.
So for all the offensive challenges both teams have had in this tournament, here we are, 3 goals in the first period, and Bernard and his .926 save percentage has been beat twice on 10 shots.
It's hard to put into words what a disastrous start in the tournament was for Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
I mean, they got destroyed 9-1 by Denmark. They were down 3-0, less than 5 minutes into their first game.
And it didn't get much better, though. I mean, it's not like they salvaged it the rest of the game. It was so surprising how off they were.
Kind of reeled it back in with 1-goal losses to France and Switzerland, but by then, the snowball was going down the hill.
Yeah, but if you can wipe that game away, which would take quite a bit of work, they've played as you would expect them to. In close games,
they were really
1-goal games, just need a little bit of offense or another save to pull a point out here or there. They were right there for most of the tournament.
They were really good last year. I mean, they beat some good teams. They tied Canada for 4th spot in the group, but Canada beat them in the preliminary round, so got the edge on the tiebreaker. And Canada need a whole bunch of things to happen to get to that point. But that was Kazakhstan's best performance at the World Championship, as that place called offside at the Italian line. Daniel Frank disagrees.
He wants to keep it moving, going the other way.
And with all these North Americans playing for the 2 teams, Daniel Frank's an Italian. Born there, grew up there, just has a North American sounding name.
Sounds like he's from Edmonton. But he's not.
Plays for Bolzano in the Ice Hockey League. There's 2 leagues that Italian players play in, the Ice Hockey League and the Alps Hockey League. Austria, Slovenia, Hungary have teams in those leagues, and Italy, of course. Hannon plays it back across for Frank. Some pretty nice places in those 2 leagues. I'm going to say the skiing and the food would be the selling points of those teams.
But make no mistake, when you play in a league like that, it's a professional league. It's not a vacation.
Oh, yeah. No.
You know, you're practicing every day, you're traveling and playing. They take it as seriously as NHL players take their NHL careers. It's their livelihood, it's their careers. So the only time you really get to take advantage of those is maybe during the national team breaks. They have a couple times a year where you can get out and explore your city. But even if the caliber of hockey's not as good in the KHL or the Ice Hockey League, the Alps Hockey League, the care and the demands are the same as they are in North America.
2.5 to go here in the first period. Starchenko plays it back. Orehov, another long shot that was blocked. Bounces high in the slot. Blacker pokes it ahead. Jesse Blacker was a second-round pick of the Maple Leafs back in 2009, won a Memorial Cup with the Windsor Spitfires. Starchenko down, plays it back for a Colson in the corner. A Colson back for Blacker, shoots, it ramps off a stick, up and out of play.
Kazakhstan is happy to have Blacker back in the lineup. He didn't play the third period of their last game.
Yeah.
Was a little nicked up, so they sat him down. And
so one thing, you know, Italy had some good success in the World Championship in the 80s and 90s, relatively. Their best finish in the tournament was 7th 3 times, most recently 96. But back then, the transfer rules were a lot less strict. So now, in order to qualify to play for another country, you have to obtain a passport for that country. So, for example, Alex Patan had not played for another country internationally. As a Colson works in, Sagadaev's down. And Orehov plays it back in as Sagadaev goes slowly back to the Kazakh bench. Blacker back with a centering pass knocked away. So if you've not played another country before, you have to wait 2 years. You have to play in that country continuously for those 2 years to qualify. If you have played for another country internationally, then it's a 4-year wait.
So Alex Patan's brother, Nick Patan, who played in the World Juniors, starred for Canada World Juniors, he'd have to play 4 years in Italy.
Continuously.
Straight.
Yeah. In comes Volk. Holds, walks it and shoots, and Bernard gets an arm on that to knock the puck up and out of play.
What a save. Curtis Volk has come to play in the first period. Scored the opening goal of the game. Lateral cut, he loses Lira big time. And really good shot. Right by the ear, right where you want it. And there you see the little knee on knee as Sagadaev doing his best to get out of the way. Charlie Horse action.
The Kazakhs were banging on the boards, pointing that replay on the big screen.
When you dive out of the way and leave your leg lying there, it's kind of on you. Scott Hartnell got me the exact same hit because I dove out of the way. I didn't want to get run over. And they get you a little bit knee on knee. It hurts, but it's kind of your responsibility.
Shalapov in for Volk. Curtis Volk flips it behind the goal. Rachmanov back from Mihalis, shoots. That's blocked by Simone Costner. Final minute now, the opening period. Mihalis back with it. Flips it back across. Rachmanov back from Metalnikov. Metalnikov shoots. He fired that wide off the end boards. It goes to Mihalis. And Mihalis works it back. Mihalis shoots it, rolled off his stick, and Trivalato has it back. Saperna knocked down, and Volk plays it back ahead. Volk tries to slide that back. And Rachmanov slides it back in for Mihalis. Trivalato back with it. Back for Simone Costner. And Sana plays it back to center ice. Knocked down by Metalnikov as time winds down here in the period. Italians open the scoring with a power play goal. Kazakhstan opens with a power play goal. Italians answer with one of their own. But an even strength goal by Valery Orehov has Kazakhstan ahead 2-1 after 20 minutes. You're watching the 2022 World Hockey Championship. Our first intermission is coming up.
Such a goal on our first period. Team Italy 6, Team Kazakhstan 12. Laukaukset maalia kohti ensimmäisessä erässä. Italia 6, Kazakhstan 12. In Tampere, the score between Team USA and Team Czechia after first period. USA 0, Czechia 1. Tampereella tilanne ottelussa USA Tsekki ensimmäisen erän jälkeen.
down first. Here we go. White, blue. Yep.
Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go, let's go. Still play, still play. Play the puck. Good, good. Let's go. Stop. Good. Woo, woo, woo. Let's go, let's go. Easy, 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 easy. Easy, guys. Let's go, let's go. Play the puck, play puck. Outside, outside.
Curve piece right here. Hit this. Hey, watch that crease, all right? You were in there for a half step. I got him. Yeah. Yeah, he came in. No, he came in like for a half second, bounced out. If it goes in, it won't count. Hey, everybody out, everybody out, everybody out. Let's go, out. Here we go, here we go. Hey, wait! Guys, we can battle as soon as the puck's down. Please wait until the puck is down, then we can battle, okay? Thank you. I'll be looking right at both of you.
Guys, right D, you're the last one to change, okay? Second period, you hold you pull the board. Right D, last guy to change. Left D comes on, switch with him when you come on, but right D, you hold it.
Andre shoots off at the Kazakh goal. Andreas Bernard in for Italy. Bernard allowed 2 goals on 12 shots. It's a 2-1 lead for Kazakhstan after 1 period of play, and the win or go home game. Simple as that. The loser will be relegated next year. Relegation appears at the World Championship for the first time since 2019. There was no 2020 tournament, and last year there was no relegation. So Greg Ireland's team, which finished last in its group last year, was not sent down. Ireland wasn't there last year. He contracted COVID right before the tournament.
And talking to him, he said it was hard to watch. He'd been working so hard to get his team prepared, and then he's got to kind of coach and do virtual meetings like so many of us have had to do in the last couple of years. He's happy to be back behind the bench.
In Tampere today, U.S. taking on Czechia. 1-0 the Czechs lead after 1. They had just 3 shots in the first period. Mate Blumel scored. And here both teams have a power play goal. And they begin the second period 5-on-5. Jesse Blacker works in now. Blacker, long wrist shot. And Bernard juggled that. Was able to kind of an awkward catch there. Actually not even a catch.
He was fighting that from the get-go. He was trying to pin it against his blocker, and he obviously felt that he was about to drop it, so he went sliding off to the opposite direction. Where is it? It's on its way out. Hang on. There is it. Gonna follow the bottom of his glove. The biggest news for Kazakhstan is they got 2 by Bernard in the first period.
Yeah. Bernard spent 10 years playing here in Finland for various teams. Played for 4 different teams in 4 countries the last 4 years. And that's not unusual.
You look at some of the hockey DB pages of these athletes, and they've sprinkled all around Europe. So many different teams, so many different countries and leagues, chasing it down.
I prefer EliteProspects.com, but hey, to each their own.
For the general bio stuff, hockey DB's a clean interface.
Zagadeyev drops that back for Rachmanov. That's knocked away. And swinging back is Jesse Blacker.
But I'm also a subscriber to Elite Prospects.
Okay, getting that
very valuable for these tournaments for us.
Indispensable, really. Metalnikov works in. Flips that back down to the Italian zone. Next year's World Championship will be held at this time of the year. We're not sure where. There are 2 groups bidding. Shalapon from Metalnikov. That long shot knocked down in front. Petronero knocked that away. One joint bid is from Tampere and Riga, Latvia. Tampere, one of the host cities this year. Riga hosted it last year. And the other bid is from a joint bid between Hungary and Slovenia. Budapest and Ljubljana. Here's Volkman. That'll be determined this Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah. Ball drops it back from
before the
Metallica.
semis.
Yeah.
Nice.
IIHF Congress will hold a vote. Both those bids need waivers from the IIHF rules to be considered, because Tampere and Riga are both recent hosts. You're not supposed to be able to host it again unless there's no other bid. There is, but in order to bid, you're supposed to be the top division for 3 consecutive years. Hungary and Slovenia are not. They both won promotion this year, but there hasn't been promotion for the last couple of years. So their argument would be that they weren't afforded the opportunity. Shalapov up for Volk, who has one of the Kazakh goals. And for Shevchenko pulling his way in, gets a shot away, and then a little backhand steered away by Bernard. And if Mystic Mike wants to put put a wager down, I think Budapest and Ljubljana might
be worth a look.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of sentiment to go somewhere it hasn't been before.
Sure. And you're not going to have an opportunity where both those countries are likely still in
top division
for 3 years or whatever the regulation might be.
Especially if you go back, now that relegation is back,
right.
You're not going to know. And to be honest, Hungary and Slovenia are taking a real chance hosting the tournament next year. Getting relegated is bad. Getting relegated at home ice is incrementally worse.
Well, you're looking at the negative. I would say, let me host it, and the chance of me getting relegated goes down.
Okay. Spornberger shoots at the deflected just wide. DeLuca throws it back in front. That pass missed Traversa. And Traversa's long shot goes off the leg in front of Shestakov. But the opportunity to go where it's not been before, I think, is pretty tantalizing to a lot of.
And I wonder if that also, not that we worry so much, but it perked the interest of the players. Get to a.
Sure.
A lot of players have been to Finland or to Sweden or to Czechia or whatever it might be.
Shestakov works in. Petuhov had that taken away, poking ahead by Mantiger. And DeLuca sends it back down to the Kazakh zone. Racing to it as Simone Kostner races in. He and his brother Diego, members of this Italian team, and both are new dads. And a set-up, huge hit at center ice as he and Pietraniro collided. Kirkov pokes at that. Patan knocked that free, but Orehov has it back for Kazakhstan. Petuhov spins back for Orehov. Kirkov back around to Blacker. Jesse Blacker, a wrist shot that was blocked by Trivelato. Petuhov trying to knock that free. Simone Kostner rink wide. Patan knocked at that. It's picked up by Petuhov. Petuhov, a centering pass that was blocked by Trivelato. Loose in front, they score! Tapped home by Petuhov. And Kazakhstan has a 3-1 lead.
This play's made by Orehov, though. He's the one who steps up at the offensive blue line, keeps this play alive. Petuhov trying to tuck it, but I think he gets taken right off his stick. I'll take that very much, as Setov says. Petuhov takes the block pass and goes back up short side, and Setov had earned inside position, able to, he's behind the goaltender, sweep it home.
It is a Setov with the last touch. That's his first goal as a member of the Kazakh national team.
And he's thinking about, is there a goaltender interference here to be called? I don't think so. He may be in the crease, but he's not bothering Bernard at all. Greg Ireland is taking his time to think about it. But the play by Orehov, stepping up on a simple outlet pass, turns the puck over and creates the quick odd man opportunity going the other way, where Setov is the beneficiary. And now knowing if you're Italy, part of your calculation in do we challenge is what are the likelihood of us being able to come back? And I think Setov was helped into the goaltending area by Pietraniro. You see him get shoved in there pretty hard from behind. Good decision not to challenge. That would not be overturned.
Right, and then you'd be shorthanded. Italy did score 4 times against Germany. Led that game twice, 1-0 and 2-1. Now down 3-1 here in the second period. And the prospects looking dire for Italy to stay in the top division. Icing called against Kazakhstan.
Same message for Kazakhstan. Okay, we have another 2-goal lead. Bear down the next 3-4 minutes, and let's not give Italy any life here. Worked hard to get our 2-goal lead. Let's protect it and make Italy realize it's going to be a tough slog to try to find offense in this game.
Well, they narrowly avoided relegation in 2019. Won a shootout against Austria to stay up. Metalnikov plays it back across. He and Dietz, defense partners for Kazakhstan. Sagadeyev plays it back, and Perna goes back and throws that back in front for Spornberger. Dante Hanu. In for Perna, walks in and shoots, goes off the leg of Metalnikov, dropped right back, and Diego Costner fend on a shoot-off down, jam play, score! Diego Costner stays with it, and Italy's back in it.
So much for my speech to Kazakhstan and their ability to protect and play after they score goals. It's been a problem all tournament long. And Costner, you're right, able to get Italy right back into the game. Crazy bouncing puck and 2 block shots of Fan, and that is pretty tidy work by Costner. Way below the goal line, just like the Tuhov was trying to do, trying to go back up against the short side, but Chutov is miles out of the net. Oh, that is really well done. That is strong stick work. Yeah. It's very easy to get tangled up in the inside of the net or in the equipment. Costner makes no mistake, and all right, Italy not going away.
He plays in Ambre Piola in the Swiss League. That's his first goal this World Championship. Here they come again. Frigo trying to play it across. That was blocked by a sprawling Samatinayo. Now back in the point picture. Nero's shot. That's blocked as well. Mihalis brings it out. And Rachmanov works in, centers it, and the pass taken away by Marco Inza. Mihalis spins that back. Volker centering pass. Rachmanov a chance turned away and tight by Bernard. Mantenuto works in. Roll that wide. Volk plays it back across. Bakateyev to the line and out. Retreating to pick it up is Daniel Bira. In comes DeLuca, a long shot, whistled that wide. Now another chance in tight. And that time, rattled high by Mantinger as Shutov got a piece of it. I gotta say, if you're coaching Kazakhstan right now, every save is white knuckle. Shutov's
every one
pounces on that.
Every one that goes to the net, you're not quite sure.
3-2 Kazakhstan leads in the second.
Hundreds of volunteers have been working on this tournament, making sure that we can all be here, enjoy some hockey, and make miracles together. In each game, we want to thank one volunteer of the game. And this lady right here next to me, she's been taking care of our VIP guests in the skybox, and the guests have loved her. Her team has loved her. So we want to thank her today as a volunteer of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Henrika Salome. Let's put our hands together. Thank you.
Two teams fighting to stay in the top division of the World Championship. Only one will remain after today on this side. Same story in Group B tonight when Great Britain plays Austria. Spornberger shot that deflects wide. Shutov, by the way, has faced more shots than any goaltender in the tournament. Here comes Patan with it. Long shooted, knocked away by Shutov. Petuha, lead pass for Gurkov plays that back in for Kazakhstan. Asetov back to Orehov. At the blue line, Blacker back across for Asetov, and that long, soft shot knocked away by Bernard. Now Asetov back with it. Plays it back around. Petuhov spins back in the corner, works away from Spornberger, pulls back in front, shoots. Bernard turned the first chance away. Loose puck goes back to Metalnikov. Cross he goes to Blacker. All kinds of traffic in front of the Italian goal. Now Blacker with it. Blacker drops it off. Starchenko, the Kazakh captain, shoots. Pad save by Bernard. Rebound. Another chance in front. Two good stuff by Bernard. Exactly what Italy needs at this point.
They're going to need Bernard to hold the fort.
That puck goes right through the crease. Played back by Kolzin.
Hard to see Italy scoring 5 if they give up another one.
That's as many as they've scored in some tournaments.
Right.
Starchenko swings it back across. And a long shot by Shalapov. He was trying to find the stick of Sagadeyev there, and it just missed. We mentioned Italy's win over Austria in the shootout in 2019 to stay alive. That win was exceedingly rare. Italy's got one win in its last 38 games of the World Championship. So you win today.
Tough sledding.
You win today. You got 2 wins your last 39, and both saved you from being relegated.
It's all about winning the one you have to.
I guess.
If you don't get a lot, make them worthwhile.
Now Mihailus back with it. Slides it across for Rachmanov. Rachmanov swings it back down to Bekateyev. In the corner is Mihailus. Bekateyev down low to Volk. And Curtis Volk going to spin it back in front. Mihailus was all teed up for the one-timer. Rachmanov took it away from him, throws it back towards the goal. That goes wide. I think Mihailus gave him some stink eye there for taking away a shot. As that rolls wide of the Kazakh goal, and icing called against Italy.
That first line for Kazakhstan has had a lot of offensive zone possession, and so has Starchenko. Dancing in the middle. Flurry, shot, rebound attempts. Bernard getting across. Starchenko just couldn't quite corral the third one. That's a good tie-up by Costner as Sagadeyev was looking for the weak side tip. We talked about a lot. If you can get under the stick, you give yourself a much better chance to control the blade than if you try to go over top.
Off the draw, Mihailus pulls that free. Drops it back to Orehov. Orehov spins that back. Mihailus to Blacker, shoots, and it's off a stick. Up and out.
Italy needed that whistle as they were exhausted in their own end for about a minute and a half. Jesse Blacker had taken on a much bigger role in this tournament than he has in years past. Dietz being out, right shot guy. He's played on the power play, played on the penalty kill, obviously 5-on-5, top 4 minutes as well.
He too got one NHL game.
Yeah.
With Anaheim. Off the draw, that shot by Panyakov is blocked. Diego Costner trying to move that ahead. Here's Blacker back with it. Diego Costner, who has the second Italian goal, plays it back around. Sets off, had it taken away by Petronero. Hanun drops it back, and Diego Costner flips that ahead, knocked ahead by Frank, but Blacker took it away. Stolen back at center ice by Diego Costner, working it on Blacker. Costner stays with it, try to drop that back for Hanun. Now it's loose behind the goal for Frank. Hanun shovels it back in front, missed Diego Costner with that pass. Milioranzi to Hanun. Mantinger came jumping over the boards, and that's a retreat to pick up that rolling puck. Matthias Mantinger comes winding in. Plays it back around for DeLuca. Asetov brings it back the other way for Kazakhstan. In on Traversa. Asetov walks right in and shoots. Bernard makes the stop. His stick got knocked free. Now Bernard quickly retrieving that. That was a straight line drive to the goal.
I thought Asetov was going to steamroll Bernard. I did not think he'd be able to keep it on the rails to get across the front of the net.
Bekateev shoots. That's knocked away by Bernard. Shots are 16-9 in favor of Kazakhstan. Bekateev played it back in now. Jost chips it back down to the Kazakh zone. That'll be icing against Italy.
That offensive zone time adding up for Kazakhstan is set off a little shaken up, but here's the drive. He turns the corner here. That is very late. And that's a good job to not absolutely run right over top of Bernard. Could have been so much worse. Little skates in the pad, but that's not gonna hurt anybody. Don't know if the goal would have counted, but good to not take a penalty.
Metalnikov back to Shalapov at center ice. Here's Second-Day with it, stolen away for the moment by Traverso. Tommaso Traverso has been in the middle of everything for Italy. The definition of an energy player.
Yeah. That's my Pat Verbeek little ball of hate for Italy.
Minus the 40 goals.
He's got the hate part worked out.
Yeah.
The offense is still on its way.
Chipped by Frigo back down the ice. And icy waved off this time as Orehov goes back. Bumped there by Frigo. Up ahead for Rachmanov, and he puts it back down the Italian zone. Trivelato, who was a late addition to the Italian lineup after being injured last month. McNally pokes out ahead for Mantenuto. Mantenuto back for McNally. Brandon McNally shovels that back to Trivelato. A shot, a rolling puck. And Shutov had to be careful with that. Mihalis gets crushed there by McNally. Volk winds out through center ice to Rachmanov. Flip that wide of the goal. Volk goes in on the Perna, and Sana has it back for Italy.
Watch how good Volk and Mihalis are winning puck battles. Smaller guys, but they end up with the puck an awful lot off the wall.
And Mihalis works that free along range shot, tip just wide. Volk on a stick on that. Now that puck deflects into the Kazakh bench. 3-2 Kazakhstan leads with relegation on the line in Helsinki.
Come stai? Tutto bene. Come stai? Bene. All right, everyone's doing fantastic. That's great. Italy's down by 1 goal. Can we make some noise for Italy? Try to, even the game. Come on. Italia! 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 Italia!
Kazakhstan and Italy facing off as who gets sent down in this World Championship. This is Kazakhstan's 10th time in the top division as the Slovaks look on. They've got 2 days off. They played Saturday, off Sunday, off Monday, play tomorrow against Denmark.
Better not spill your drink. They're right in front of us.
Orehov shoots, goes high and wide. Kazakhstan's 10th year in the top division. They've been relegated 6 times previously. Now walking in, a quick chance for Blacker. Bernard got a blocker on that. Orehov back down to Blacker, to Orehov. Swings it back across. Blacker with it. Blacker shoots, and Bernard makes the glove save. Takes a late whack there from Dmitry Shevchenko.
I think he was almost trying to fool Bernard that it was loose to make a movement, but Blacker showing the range on the blue line. Dance around Costner. Little toe drag backhand forehand. That is really well done from a A guy we would think of as being more of a defensive, physical defenseman.
Blacker's calling card in the OHL was his skating. You mentioned a second-round pick of Toronto in 2009.
He looks and plays bigger than the 6'2" that he's listed at.
Six and a half to go in the second. Italy survived in 2019 with a knee-knocking win over Austria in a shootout. The Setov. Back ahead for Patuhov. And Patuhov works in. Wraparound try was stymied there by Hannon. Back at the point, Shalapov. Setov shoots. Bernard to stop. And quickly gloves that. Takes a skate there for Patuhov. In 2019, two of the most interesting games were the games where relegation was on the line.
They should be.
Great Britain beat France, came back from 3-0 down in the third period, beat France in overtime to survive and send France down, and then it was a shootout win by the Italians over Austria.
In many ways, other than the gold medal game, this is probably the biggest game of the tournament.
We were talking to Morten Green from Denmark, who's now a TV commentator here, and he played in a ton of those games back in the day for Denmark where they were facing relegation. That shot steered wide by Bernard. And he says, North American guys talk about nerves and pressure. These games are pressure. That shot by Petikeyev was knocked away. Petikeyev plays it back around for Denier. Sagadeyev leaves it there for Starchenko. Works in, feeds it back across. Arkhipov, a quick shot. Bernard to save on that. And Arkhipov screaming at the official that he was hooked. Colson, pardon me. 3-2, Kazakhstan leads.
Referee dance. Time out. Slashing. Spearing. High sticking. Go.
Close chance for Pavel Colson a moment ago, but it remains 3-2 Kazakhstan here in the second period. Oh, right the face-off goes down, and Bernard makes the stop on Volk.
Always the danger if you're drawing it back to the middle. That was a clean win by Kostar. Just snapped it onto his own net.
Mihalis being harassed there by Simone Kostner. His brother has one of the Italian goals. Ball for Rachmanov, shoots. That's deflected wide. As Arehov had moved up, and now Blacker has to retreat. Rachmanov. Laid back in. And Blacker trying to reach it. At the side of the goal, swept wide by Patan at the end of his shift. And here's Arehov back with it. Inside 5 to go in the second period. Curtis Volk moves in. With Rachmanov with him, Volk walks it and shoots. Bernard to save. Rebound loose in front. And Bernard quickly pounces on that and moves the puck gently out of harm's way.
Curtis Volk has found a lot of open ice in this game. And he's been using his speed very effectively. Just takes one down the middle of the ice, drives it wide. For a smaller guy who's listed at just 5'9", got a nose for the puck. Which I guess you'd have to if you're that size.
Now played back. Penyukov hit the goal post. Set it up perfectly, and Penyukov bring it right off the iron.
Delayed face-off loss win. Back to Penyukov.
Played back in by Shevchenko. Now dancing back is Shestakov. Shestakov spins away from Montenuto. One thing we've not had so far in the second period, a power play. Each team scored the power play in the first period. That long shoot-in by Shalapov, knocked away by Bernard. Shevchenko spins back for Metalnikov. Across he goes to Shalapov, shoots. That was blocked in front. Now Metalnikov back with it. Shalapov, wraparound try. Bernard is down and takes that away from Dmitry Shevchenko.
He wanted to lean into the back of Traverse and gave him a little shot. He had to stick up, so I can't do it, that'd be undisciplined. So Panyukov's in the shooting position. They don't win the face-off to him, but a good recovery.
That's the inside of the post, too.
And you see Bernard's head there. He tracks slightly to the right of his defenseman, and he's looking the wrong side of the net, and was beat clean.
Spornberger trying to play that out. It was knocked down by Asetov and now brought back by DePerna. Lead pass for Frank, who knocks that down to the Kazakh zone. Denier. Up ahead for Petuhov. Kirkov spins it back down to the Italian zone where much of the play's been in this period. Petuhov sweeps it back in front, and Spornberger finally settles it down. Shots are 13-4 Kazakhstan here in the second period. Overall 25-10. It's a one-goal game. And Diego Costner chips that up over the glass and out of play.
Hang around, shorten the game, wait for your chances. That's what Gregory Island is trying to get his team to do. We talked about the no power plays yet. Maybe you draw one, maybe there's a mistake. Just keep hanging around, keep within one. That's got to be their objective. And then see what break they might be able to create. We knew going in, 5-on-5, Kazakhstan's a stronger team.
Yeah.
We really had the stronger goaltender for much of this tournament.
Insam works in. Knocked down by Orehov. And Colson almost off the races there. Ilya Ramsey centering pass, bounces right back to him. Ramsey shoots out the save. He can't find the rebound. And Blacker clears it away to Colson. Colson for Sagadeyev. Trying to drop that back for Starchenko. That was ticked away, and the Italians bring it back, but Starchenko, the veteran, stole that puck and works right in. 14 KHL seasons for Starchenko. Drops it back. Rachmanov for Metalnikov. Shoots high and wide. Here's Volk back on it. And now brought up by Pietraniro. Shalapov knocks it down. Rachmanov winds in across the Italian line. Rachmanov still on it. Centers it, knocked away from Volk. Still loose in front. Mihalis couldn't reach it. And now Bekateev lost the puck. Almost a breakaway from Patan. He was coming off the bench. He almost had a breakaway.
He overskated it. He got too excited knowing he just needed one clean touch to get in.
In comes Simone Costner now. Costner peels back for Patan. Long wrist shot. That was blocked by Bekateev.
That's nightmare fuel right there. Just one touch, you're in alone in a one-goal game.
DePerna. High off the glass and back down to the Kazakh line. Patan knocks it down. Bekateev up for Mihalis. And Mihalis drops it back for Rachmanov. He got belted down by DePerna. He's down. Play continues. The Kazakhs are screaming for a penalty.
Linesman going right to the official to have a conversation. DePerna, who has been a physical force throughout this tournament, stood up Rachmanov, who was holding his head. The officials are congregating tightly. There was absolutely no call made by an official.
No referee made a call.
No, he's dragging his left leg, but he was holding his head. So I'm not sure, maybe he's just in pain, or we hope that he's okay, but clearly looks like it's the leg thing.
Okay, so we're back to this now. So this means they've called a major penalty. which they can now take down to a 2. This is going to have to be addressed in the offseason in both the NHL and the IIHF. Referees defaulting to calling a major just in case.
But this
so
is
they can look at.
this is the linesman calling the major. Oh yeah, he definitely gets him on the leg. You see the leg of Rachmanov. Watch it pop the left leg, buckle back. But the first collision is right onto the shoulder. Like, he got a lot of body. Oh, no head whatsoever. Did not touch his head at all. So that's a 5 what for what, kneeing? I guess. Like I'm like,
yeah, no.
Wait, what are they going to for 5? A kneeing penalty?
And you can see that the Pernas there got him with the shoulder.
Well, he did. The first contact is right on the left shoulder, and then he followed through, and no question got him on the leg as well. But that didn't take very long.
After review, Team Italy, play number 90, 5 game misconduct for the game.
5 and a game to DePerna. Greg Ireland doing everything he can to keep his composure here. So DePerna, a native of Mississauga, Ontario, who spent 5 years with Kitchener of the OHL.
I don't like it.
I'm not sure it's a penalty.
No, I mean
he doesn't shoot the leg out. He doesn't.
He hits him on the shoulder first, and DePerna knows that's it for him, and also a significant part of this game.
Huge turning point in the game. So one of Italy's top defensemen gets kicked out.
That's it for his tournament. So Greg Ireland thinking we got to get through this minute 18 left in the second period. Get to the intermission, regroup. You'll have almost 4 to kill to start the second or third.
The only break, as you say, is that this does straddle a period. However, Mantenuto ahead for Simone Costner, and Costner lays it down. That's a tough call. So in addition to reviewing whether it's a major or a minor, they also reviewed whether it's a game misconduct or not, and decided it was.
So that was about as egregious as you could have to warrant him getting kicked out of the game for a knee.
Dietz. Up ahead for Shevchenko. 3 different Kazakh players have scored their 3 power play goals. Volk has one of them. Back for Starchenko. Starchenko to Volk, who has a goal in the game so far this afternoon. A centering pass, and that missed for Shevchenko and goes by Dietz and back down the ice. Time winding down here in the period.
And remember last year when they played, it was the power play that broke the game wide open for Kazakhstan.
5 power play goals in the game. That game was tied midway through the second period. Then Kazakhstan scored 8 goals in the third period to win 11-3. And this is going to kill the rest of the clock here for the period. As Shestakov works in, centers it. That's knocked away by Miliaranzi. There'll be 3 minutes and 43 seconds of full penalty time to carry over into the third period. 3-2 Kazakhstan leads. The loser gets relegated from the World Championship.
Team Kazakhstan 3, Team Italy 2. Tilanne toisen erän jälkeen. Kazakhstan 3, Italia 2. Shots of goal in the second period. Team Italy 5, Team Kazakhstan 13.
penalty. Play number 95 plus game misconduct for the green.
Okay, if you think that there's goalie interference, you always have the ability to challenge. Never seen that. I was like, I'm not sure what he's doing. Heads here, heads here. Puck, puck, puck. Find it. It's a good battle. It's a good battle. Watch the numbers. Watch his stick. All right, puck's gone.
Play puck, play puck. Good job, good job. Let's go, let's go.
Like we just said, you see him like pushing in from behind.
Okay.
It's like goal interference, right?
Do you want to? Would you like to challenge it?
Yeah, that's the call.
What's that? The puck is there. Would you like to challenge it or not? Okay. Clean. Let's go.
Yep, don't. Outside. Stop it. Hey. After review, Team Italy, play number 90, 5 game misconduct for the green.
Ragazzi, tutti insieme qua. Tutto. Dai, Ozzi! Diego, asta Diego, bolje od doma. Ja, to Andrej. To je njegov, to je njegov. Eccolo, dai Andy.
Non ne dava guardi. Vai, guardi.
It's win or get relegated day at the World Championship here in Group A. Kazakhstan a 3-2 lead on Italy after 2 periods of play. Later tonight in Tampere, Austria plays Great Britain. Great Britain needs a regulation win there to stay up. And the pressure will be on Andreas Bernard in the Italian crease as Kazakhstan has 3 minutes and 43 seconds of power play time remaining from the 5-minute major in game misconduct to Italian defenseman Dylan DiPerna.
Greg Island hoping the team could just keep it close. Penalty kill has got to come through for Italy. He's actually been not too bad, about 80% on the tournament. Middle of the pack.
Allowed 1 in the first period. Both teams have a power play goal in the game. And here we go with Kazakhstan on the power play and a chance to extend the lead. And here's Darren Dietz. Up ahead for his fellow Canadian, Curtis Volk. Mihalis for Shevchenko. Drops it back for Dietz. Across for Starchenko, the Kazakh captain for Dietz. Walks in, waits, feeds across to Mihalis. In, shoot. That was blocked by Spornberger. Mihalis. Back for Dietz. In for Mihalis. Drops that down to Volk. To Mihalis, and we got a crease violation called here against Dmitry Shevchenko. And that'll bring the face-off outside. Hard to miss Shevchenko in the blue paint.
Right, usually they give you a warning though. He wasn't really even battling to get to the front of the net. He was just hanging on the back of the net.
6 down.
So usually the ref lets you know.
Crease, outside.
Yeah, there was no warning to get out of there. Feet were definitely in the crease. That is the rule. Easy, clear, and line change for Italy.
They've merged the two rule books between the IIHF and the NHL, but that's one rule that remains unique to international hockey. There are a couple of others.
It does add a little bit to safety and fewer collisions and stuff around the net.
Mihalis back for Dietz. Swings it across to Volk. Curtis Volk walks it and shoots. That deflected wide. Starchenko back with it. Now picked up by Volk. Back to Mihalis. Mihalis works in, holds, down to Volk. For Dietz. Mihalis has a look, drops it back. Dietz winds and fires. That's blocked by Frigo, and the puck comes out. And the Italian players up and cheering on their bench. That blocked by Frigo. And now an icing call against Kazakhstan on the power play, and slowly Italy is melting away this 5-minute power play.
Chipping away, and you're right, Frigo does deserve some props because this is on a tee for Dietz. He could bring the heat. He had to get low. Oh. He's obviously still standing, so it got enough of the shin pad and not the outside of the knee.
So the face-off all the way back down to the Kazakh zone. Face-off won by Volk and picked up by Dietz. Aaron Dietz, former Montreal Canadian, down to Mihalis. And Mihalis works in, holds, gets around Jost. Feeds that through the crease. Panyakov can't reach it. He's got Patan on him, and knocked out by Alex Patan. Dietz for a Colson. Lumbers in, trying to center it, knocked down by Frank. And Daniel Frank sends it down. Minute 45 to go in the 5-minute power play. Arehov up for Blacker. Blacker drops it back to Arehov, who's been a big part of the offense here for Kazakhstan in this tournament. Swings it back across for Shestakov. Spornberger reaching for it. Picked up by Panyakov. Back to Arehov. Panyakov banks that back. Arehov holds it. Blacker on the other side. Arehov shoots. Bernard kicks that free. Loose in the slot. And the bouncing puck got away from a Colson. Now Panyakov back down to a Colson. The puck in his feet. Spornberger gets it on his backhand. Tough clear. Now DeLuca on his backhand. Gets it by Arehov and down.
One of those moments there within a minute away. Can Italy use a potential kill to build some momentum?
Blacker has that blocked by Simone Kostner, and now brought ahead by Starchenko. Brings it back around. Mantenuto hustling to it. Back across it goes to Blacker. You're getting some players on the penalty kill now for Italy who don't normally do it. Dietz works it and shoots. Save made by Bernard. Loose puck back for Blacker. He shoots. That deflects wide. 25 seconds to go in the Kazakh power play. Dietz with it. Now Dietz drops that down to Starchenko. Starchenko walks out, fires, scores! Off the glove hand of Bernard and in. And the power play goal with 13 seconds left in the 5-minute power play gives Kazakhstan a 2-goal lead again.
Took them a while. They finally got to their set. Starchenko, the captain, has been there a million times before. Gets one through the traffic. Dietz drop and roll. Starchenko just comes around the top of the circle, and the big body of Starchenko again. It's Bernard looking to the right of Shevchenko, while Starchenko goes to the left. And he just doesn't quite spot it. He loses track of the puck. Watch his head. He's on the right side of the body, and the puck comes to the other side, and he loses sight of it on its way through. Cuffs him and into the back of the net.
Kazakhstan led the game 3-1 in the second. A late goal by Diego Kostner drew Italy back within one, and now Kostner kicks it back down the Kazakh zone. Denier goes back. Puck bounces by Glira, and Jost back for it. Should Italy be relegated this year, the earliest they'd be back in the top division will be 2024. So you'd have The Olympics looming in 26. The Italians really want to keep their team playing up here. Sent off with it. Feeds it back in front. A great chance there for Shestakov. Being harassed there by Clear, and he flipped it just wide. Hanun with Frank working in. Hanun slides it ahead for Frank. Trying to center it. Bounced in behind him. And now Spornberger shoots. And that flooded wide. Sentov had to take it away by Trivelato. In comes Trivelato. Spins and shoots. He flipped that wide. Spornberger back on it. Puck rolled off his stick, and Metalnikov has it back. Bounce back down to the Italian zone. Icing called against Kazakhstan.
Well, the 5-minute major game misconduct at Deperna, which was a questionable call to begin with, comes back to bite Italy as they killed off almost the full 5 minutes, but at the very end, and we see it all the time when the goaltenders have to work around the screen and start looking to the wrong side of the pile. They have a hard time finding the puck on the other side. And as great as Bernard has been throughout this tournament, and he's been fantastic, he hasn't made the big saves that Italy has needed him to, that he kind of has been making all tournament long.
Laid back down for Pietranero, who steps up. Pietranero. Loose in the corner with it, and Shalapov steps into him. Santa tries to chip that back, and here's Shalapov with it. Around the Sarchenko, banks it back down to the Italian zone, and Millie Ramsey careful with that as Patuha was closing on him. Pietranero up for Tan, who chips it down to the Kazakh zone. Blacker goes back, still 1-0 Czech leading the United States in the third period. The Czechs had just 7 shots in the first 2 periods. Jost knocks it down and feeds it back down to the Kazakh zone. Hungary and Slovenia promoted for next year's tournament. There's a Kolzin. Sends that ahead. Orehov working in. Sends it back across. They score! Orehov to Mihalis. It's 5-2, and once again, Valery Orehov makes a sweet play for Kazakhstan.
We're not talking enough about Orehov skating. That pivot at the blue line on the pass reception was flawless. You see him in front of the net. He's going to join the rush as an Italian defender falls, and now it's a 4-on-3. But this pivot right here, he takes the puck and accelerates cleanly behind Jost, and then makes an intentional pass to the hard drive Michaelis. That is well done by Michaelis as well. Gets the back door, strong on your stick. Don't bail out to the very last second. Clear is there, but Michaelis a little bit quicker. But that was incredible. And would you look at this?
Italy makes a goaltending change. They go to Justin Fazio. He played last year in the game against Kazakhstan. He allowed 7 goals on 28 shots, was pulled in the third. This reminiscent somewhat
of that game.
Not yet to the same degree. That game was tied in the second period. Kazakhstan scored 8 times in the third period to win it by a score of 11-3.
That's tough for Bernard, who's been so good. Came into the game with a .926 save percentage.
Now a centering pass, and Shestakov has to take it away.
Ouch.
And Shestakov is injured.
Yeah, I think by the point shot.
Lead pass to Batan misfired. And Shutov will hang on to that. 13:27 to go in the third period. Kazakhstan now with a 5-2 lead.
Flags and jerseys in the arena, so let's show your colors. Come on, get up, show us your flags, your jerseys, put them up in the air. How about over here? What do we have on this side? What kind of flags do we have? Italy? Yes, here's Italy. Come on, what else do we have over here? How about on the other side? We got Kazakhstan over there. Put your hands up.
second to last day in the preliminary round of the World Hockey Championship, but this is the day that decides who stays up in the top division and who gets relegated on both sides of the draw. Here, Kazakhstan a 5-2 lead on Italy. Tonight, Great Britain takes on Austria. Great Britain must win that game in regulation. The other result, and the British are relegated after a somewhat unlikely stay in the top division since 2019. A variety of factors in that. The British, with the dramatic come-from-behind overtime win over France in 2019, down 3-0, came back to win that game, as Mandinger works in. There was no tournament in 2020. There was no relegation last year. So the British
had a nice little run without ever having really to earn their way back in. They got one shot, one win, and they're good.
Seta spins away from Frank, works it back around and shoots, and Fazio gets a piece of that. Shalapov, rink wide to Metallikov, tees it up and shoots. He fired that wide. Fazio, a Sarnia, Ontario native, spent 4 years with the Sarnia Sting in the OHL. Also played at Queen's University as that shot rattles wide. Shalapov with it. Aseta. Gurkov back to Shalapov, shoots. And that's gloved by Fazio.
Where Kazakhstan wants to play for the remainder of the game. Get in the offensive zone, control the board, use their superior size and strength, and just grind Italy to a pulp, just churn out the shifts and the minutes on the clock. Ireland's trying to figure out, what can we do? We got to get one here in the next 3-4 minutes. Make it interesting. Just have to find a way to get, don't have to win in regulation, anything, any win. And that team goes forward.
Spornberger. That's knocked down. And now you get into a situation where down 3, you start thinking about, goalie pulls in certain situations. If you're on the power play, do you think about it?
Start seeing some different kind of things because you need to have the win.
Now a pass in front, a backhand shot taken there by Insom, turned away by Shutov. Blacker for Sagadeyev, lead pass for Starchenko, doing the splits at the line, but the pass missed him.
Tough miscue there because now the Kazakhstan team cannot change. Like dicey turnover there. You want to keep those plays out of the middle. IIHF won't talk so highly about. Coughed one up, and Shutov, who's not been asked to do too much, just 12 shots against. But if you're Italy, you're thinking, listen, this guy's not been good this tournament.
Get some shots.
Let's put a little pressure on him and see how he looks. Only one shot to the first 8.5 minutes of the third period. Of course, 4 of those minutes were killing a penalty.
Alex Patan moves it in. Denayer tries to squeeze that by him. Denayer has his first and middle initial on his uniform because his brother also plays in this team, Cyan Denayer, but he is not yet dressed for a game in this tournament. Milyaranzi back with it. And now Starchenko had it blocked by DeLuca. Shestakov goes back with Patan all over him. Bekateyev comes winding in, the big defenseman. Spins back and drops it back for Mihalis. And Mihalis to Shestakov. Shestakov. Bekateyev, and now Shestakov a shot that deflects wide. Clear lost the puck to Volk. Has to retreat quickly. Now Volk centers it. And McNally's got it back for Italy. In comes McNally across the line, drops it off. Manado shoots, and save made by Shutov, and he hangs on to that.
You're right, they're probably getting to the point halfway through the third period where Italy has to be more aggressive.
So offensive zone faceoffs.
Pitching more assertively in the offensive zone, activating defensemen, trying to force plays, even if it leaves you a little bit open going the other way, you don't have a choice.
Cannon lost the battle of Metalnikov. Now Diego Koster plays it back ahead. Spornberger was stripped by a set-off. Back out to center ice. Trivalato. Up ahead for Frank. That's knocked down. Petuhov brings it back. Petuhov walks in. Got poke check there by Frank. Drops it back for Shalapov. Metalnikov. He fires. Fazio the save on that. Now a set-off with Fazio down. Couldn't complete the wraparound. Shalapov. Gurkov. Metalnikov. And Gurkov. Back to Metalnikov. And Gurkov left that. And the puck goes back to center ice. Past the midway point of the third period. In Tampere, still 1-0 Czechia on the United States. Simone Koster for Patan. At the point is Pietronero. Milioranzi long shot. Shutov can't corral a bouncing puck.
It's an adventure down there.
Pietronero fires and Shutov got a duck out of the way of that one. Traversa tries to center for Patan, a loose puck. And Patan hacked at that, couldn't reach it. Milioranzi to Traversa. Orehov out ahead, and Milioranzi has to knock it down at center ice. Pietronero up for Patan. For Montenuto. Traversa had that puck roll off his stick. And a penalty coming now. 8:26 to go. A slashing call will go against Kazakhstan. Italy the power play, down 3.
Kazakhstan 89, 2 minutes for slashing.
If you want to continue with the amazing tournament, move outside the arenas too. I highly recommend to go to the official fan zone in the Mall of Tripla. There is live music, DJs, musicians, magicians. There are hockey stars, and the mascot is there, and of course you can watch the games on the big screen. Go check it out. It's in the Mall of Tripla, the official fan zone. DJ, I'm gonna have you up. Play some music.
Italian coach Greg Ireland talking it over the bench. What their plans are here in the power play. I wonder if you think about pulling the goaltender here on the power play, would you?
Yeah.
Here comes Falk, shorthanded.
Probably not.
Shestakov shoots from a sharp angle. Fazio the save.
Somewhere that. I don't know the numbers, but how much more successful would a 6-on-4 be versus a 5-on-4? You're throwing a guy out there in a position they're not used to practicing, or they're not really sure the spacing. I guess it provides an extra body around the front of the net, but there's the risk.
That would have been a goal. Fazio leaves it there. Picked up by Trivalato. Some of these players in their late 20s, like Trivalato, early 30s.
You got to think the Olympics are the end game for a lot of those guys.
Trivalato back for Patan. Patan holds and shoots. That deflected wide. Shutov lost track of it. Insum back on it. Bank back. Here's Trivalato with it. Montenuto works it back for Trivalato. Back across Patan, a centering pass, and that just bounced away from Insum. 30 seconds to go on the Italian power play. Inside 7 to go in the third period. Trivalato. That shot blocked. Montenuto back with it. Picked up by Bekateev. Can't clear it out. Montenuto in, fires. That was blocked and played out by Denier.
I'm chuckling watching Shutov He is up and down, all kinds of contortions, trying to find pucks through the screens. It's an adventure down there.
Ilya Ramsey lays that ahead. Hannon looks it back down. Costner to Hannon. Try to center it. And now Blacker back with it. Team's back even strength as Volk winds in with Shestakov. Volk in, shoots. Fazio got a piece of that. Blacker back with it. Blacker centers it. Just missed by Volk. Mihalis feeds it back to Orehov. To Mihalis. Spins and fires, and Fazio makes the glove save. 5:56 to go in the third. Kazakhstan leads 5-2. Andrei Shutov was the backup last year for Kazakhstan. They had their best World Championship performance ever in the top division. Back up to Nikita Boyarkin, who's injured this year, so Kazakhstan can survive relegation without its #1 goaltender. That's a win.
What we saw in the first game for Kazakhstan was so confusing.
Right, 9-1 loss to Denmark. Talmakov shoots, that's tipped wide by Shestakov.
And well deserving of the loss.
Yes.
They earned that 9-1 loss.
Mihalis down to Shestakov. Shestakov back for Shalapov. Talmakov for Mihalis. And now Joes picks it up. Simon Costner swings that back for Peter Spornberger. He's been playing in Germany since he was 16. Spornberger fires it down.
So if you're going to pull the goalie at a random time, now's when you go. Puck in the offensive zone, there's 5 minutes left. He's had a hard time maintaining possession anyways, so might as well give it a whirl.
Sets up. Bumped in the corner. Under 5 to go in the period. Patuha spins and shoots, fired out to the side of the goal. For Velato. And that's stripped away. Spornberger back on it. And the inevitability looming now for Italy. Denier back across. Gurkov. Berkev centering pass, and Asetov could get a shot away. Bakateya puts it back down to Asetov. Patuha. That pass draws
twice. The guy in the middle thinks it's for the far defenseman, and the forward lets it go through, and it clears the zone. But it really does create so much space in behind the net when you take a forward and a checker out towards the blue line.
Lead pass to Colson. When shoots, he fired that wide. Colson just missed. Starchenko back around to Orehov. To Blacker. Jesse Blacker to Orehov. Orehov feeds it back across. Blacker in, shoots. And Fazio makes the stop.
We're gushing on Orehov. Blacker himself has had a pretty good offensive tournament. Picked up a few points in this one as well. They've been a pretty dynamic defensive pair for Kazakhstan. And you're right, that sense of inevitability. 3:40 on the clock. The Italians are running out of runway to get back in this game, stay in the top division.
Here's Patan with it. Patan slips it back down. Frigo goes after it, but knocked away by Blacker. Frigo plays it back to Jost. Gregorio Jost shoots. That was blocked by Colson. Glira fires. It kicked up by Shuta, but Colson races that rolling puck and plays it into the Kazakh bench.
Colson got a little chop on the hand there, feeling it, but got the job done in that he got at least a whistle for a line change. And it's been a pretty dominant game for Kazakhstan. Shots now 35-14. And despite the struggles throughout the tournament, they knew this is the one game that they have to win. It looks like they're going to get the job done.
Shalapov high off the glass and back out.
You think about the best players for Kazakhstan. Mihalis has been good in this game. Volk has been good in this game. Blacker and Orehov have been good in this game. Starchenko. The big guys have really stepped up in the big moment to make sure that they will be back next year.
.303 to go here in the period. And Mihalis back across to Shalapov. And Metalnikov brings it out. In comes Mihalis with it. And Mihalis to Volk. Now a centering pass, and ball couldn't quite reach that. Inside. Tied up in the corner. And Trivelato picks it back up. 2.5 to go in the third. And I think they're going to bring the goaltender here as McNally works in.
They are not.
You were waving for a moment. His hand, Greg Ireland, the head coach, had his hand up for a moment, but elected not to.
At this point, that ship has probably sailed. I mean, you can do it if you want. And here he comes.
I think the Italians are going to call timeout here.
See, I mean, you need 3, Gord.
Right.
There's 2:22 on the clock, so I like coaching hard all the way in. I like pulling your goaltender and not giving up, even though it looks bleak. But I don't know if I waste a timeout here, because I need the energy of this group more than I need the strategy. So I think I pull the goaltender, let them play 6-on-5, hope they score, and recognize that I'll probably need to call a timeout to keep the same group on the ice at some point in the last couple of minutes, if they're fortunate enough to even get a goal. So, you know, and he wants to drop some plays and diagrams. They have an offensive zone face-off. But even if it works, I still think the ultimate goal of 3 more goals, you need that timeout for later. Is there a guy? Orehov?
Yeah, he's been good. You know,
he's been good. He skates really well.
Played just 3 games last year for Kazakhstan. Was injured at the World Championship.
It's so hard to tell. You know, stat line in the KHL looks...
Got 1 goal, but that's a low-scoring league.
Right. You don't know what role he plays and how good the team is.
Now towards the empty net.
And he got there.
Trivelato hustles back to pick it up. Alex Trivelato. Up ahead for Montenuto. And picked up now by Hanna. Inside 2 to go in the third period. Hanna feeds it back down. Blacker waiting for it. Now centered. That's knocked away. As Colson got a stick on that to knock it up and out.
So nothing doing, and at this point you don't want to think you've got it won, but you kind of maybe. Coach Yuri Mihailov, you mixing a smile? No, not till it's over. There's on the ice still grinding. Blacker and Orehov has been yeoman's work in this game.
2 goals for Kazakhstan here in the third period. A 5-minute major called on Italian defenseman Dylan DiPerna. And Kazakhstan cashed in the very final seconds of that power play. Montenuto back for Patan. Alex Patan. Hannon tries to play it back across. The puck in the feet of Starchenko. Now spinning and shooting is Simone Kostner. Cole's involved with Insom there. And Cole's in a burns hot anyway. Gave him a bit of the stick. Hannon in for Frank. Frank throws that back in the corner. Hannon picks it back up. Final minute now of the third period. As Italy stay in the top division. Wise down as well. Miglioranzi's shot. That's knocked away. Miglioranzi back with it. Feeds it back across. Petronero shoots. Off Shutov, but high off the glass. Miglioranzi again. Frigo shoots. That goes wide. Hannon spins that back to Miglioranzi. Back across. Petronero shoots and fired it off the glass. And on the play.
Shutov might have wanted to flick that one up into the netting with his head. 30 seconds left. Ireland's still coaching hard, but reality has set in. And he's talked a lot about how important it was with the Olympics on the horizon to build towards 26. And that means playing the World Championships, highest level, top division, confirming that you belong in the Olympics.
Patan throws that rink wide. That shot taken by Trivelato goes high and wide. Bouncing puck at center ice. And Simone Kostner plays it back for Trivelato. Up ahead is McNally. Backhands that towards the goal. Bekateev plays it up. Shestekov's got it. Final second. Shestakov shoots. He missed the open net. And now Mihalis tries to center it. Kazakhstan wins it 5-2. Kazakhstan will return to the top division of the World Championship next year. And Italy is relegated to Division 1A. So a bitter disappointment for the Italians, who survived relegation in 2019. They will go back down to Division 1A. And now we'll have a little addition to the post-game ceremonies. In addition to 2 players of the game, we've also got the top 3 players for both teams as chosen by the management of their clubs. And then the Kazakhstan national anthem. Czechia beat the United States by a final score of 1-0. Made that first period goal by Mati Blumel stand up. They scored less than 8 minutes into the first period.
Karol Vejmelka, the Coyotes in net for Czechia. Some a pretty good goaltender.
And now the post-game presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to award the best players of this game. The best players of each team will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, the official timekeeper of the 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The best player of Team Italy will be presented by the sport director of the 2022 IIHF World Championship Organizing Committee, Dula Puputti. The best player of Team Kazakhstan will be presented by the president of the Kazakhstan Ice Hockey Federation, Askar Mamin. The best player of Team Italy, number 15, Enrico Miglioranzi.
Miglioranzi plays for Asiago in the Alps League. He's named the player of the game.
The best player of Team Kazakhstan.
He's a 30-year-old.
Number 10, Nikita Mikhailis.
Coach's son, biggest game. That's the player of the game for Kazakhstan.
And he was good.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to award the 3 best players of each team of the tournament. The The awards will be presented by Nokia, the official partner of the 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The 3 Best Players award are selected by each respective team. The 3 best players of Team Italy are number 1, Andreas Bernard.
He was terrific.
Number 90, Vila Di Perna.
Oh my goodness.
Number 23,
And De Perna kicked out of the game.
Think about it. Bernard didn't finish the game.
Yeah.
De Perna did not finish the game as he was kicked out for a kneeing penalty. And Bernard and De Perna aren't even out here. So Frank and Patan are receiving their awards for them.
The 3 best players of Team Kazakhstan are number 28, Valeri Oryehov. Number 43,
Oryehov was good for Kazakhstan, a 22-year-old.
Roman Starchenko.
Hang on. Shutov is one of the players in the tournament. Oryehov there, Starchenko getting it done, but Volk, Mihalis, Jesse Blacker all had solid tournaments for Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able, please rise for the national anthem of the winning team Kazakhstan. Arvoisa yleisö, jos pystyt, pyydän nousemaan ylös kuulemaan voittajajoukkue Kazakstanin kansallislaulu. The 2022 Ice Hockey World Championship tournament will continue today here in Helsinki Arena at 8:20 p.m. with the game against Team Canada and Team Denmark. Welcome. Vuoden 2022 IIHF jääkiekko tulla täällä Helsingin jäähallista. Ottelulla Kanada-Tanska kello 20:20. Tervetuloa. And ladies and gentlemen, the arena is empty quickly. The games, see you soon. Daamot ja yleisö, areena tyhjennetään otteluiden välistä. Nähdään pian.
Kazakhstan picks up a victory, very last game. How impressed are you with your team to secure a win when it mattered the very most?
Well, you know, we got ourselves in a position where we needed to win in order to stay in the elite, and for that matter, it's good feeling to get the win here, yeah.
You joined the team late due to an injury, but Kazakhstan opened the tournament with a 9-1 loss to Denmark. What did you notice about the growth of this team as the tournament progressed?
Yeah, I think we definitely had a slow start to the tournament. You know, whether that's related to how we prepared or not, I'm sure everyone will do a review on how we came prepared to the tournament. But definitely as it went on, we saw our team gain a little bit more confidence, play a little bit better, and catch up to speed, so to speak.
You and Curtis Volk connected on that opening goal. Two kids from Medicine Hat, Alberta, playing on Team Kazakhstan here in Helsinki, Finland. What is it like sharing that moment together on an international stage?
It is pretty cool. It's something that's pretty unique that him and I share, and we kind of laugh every now and then and say, who'd have thought it when we were kids, but here we are.
Darren, thank you.
Hey, thanks so much.
Daniel, not only a loss, but Italy is now relegated. What are you feeling in this moment?
Well, it's a tough feeling right now, obviously, but I think we had some few great games. We battled hard, we made some improvement, but today Kazakhstan was the better team, and yeah, it's tough to talk right now.
Looking ahead with Italy, the host of the Winter Olympics in 2026, how do you want to see this national program grow?
We actually did. To be honest, from last year, we did from the last 2 years. I've seen it grow a lot. We put a lot of work in, a lot of dedication, a lot of guys away from the families, working hard. I see Italian hockey proved a lot. We could see it this year. Obviously, we didn't get shut down like 10-0 to someone. We were a couple games were close, but still missing some pieces. But I think in the next years we're gonna go back here and we stay here.
Your coach, Greg Ireland, has talked time and time again about the sacrifices players on this team have made. As captain, what are you saying to guys in the locker room after a loss like today?
È davvero dura dire qualcosa. Però abbiamo visto la fame che avevamo, il sacrificio che avevamo messo le ultime 6 settimane, l'abbiamo dato tutta. E devo dire, l'ultima partita non bastava, però secondo me abbiamo fatto una bella figura qua e sicuramente nei prossimi anni ritorniamo qua e stiamo sicuramente qua, sono sicuro.
Daniel, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Я думаю, с кем должен был.